Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely didn't film this video after we already built the PC, so let's go to Micro Center and build a $1,000 PC. When it comes to building the PC, I'm thinking we start with the CPU first. It gives you a good baseline for everything to come. The graphics card, SSD, RAM, motherboard, case, cooler can all be linked back to the CPU. So I'm thinking we start with that. I was debating whether to go for Intel or AMD, but I think I found the one, the 7600X, 6 cores, 12 threads, high clock frequency, I think it's 4.7 gigahertz. Along with the CPU, there's a bundle going on. You can get a B650 and 16 gigs of DDR5 for $100 on top of that. I think that's a no-brainer. This is the bundle if you do want to check it out. Ryzen 5 7600, Asus B60M Prime with Wi-Fi, and 16 gigs of DDR5. Pretty decent for $300. Now that we got the skeleton, so to speak, of the PC done, motherboard, RAM, CPU, we gotta run for the graphics card. One of the best budget cards on the market right now is the RTX 4060. It comes with a bunch of perks from NVIDIA software, like DLSS, frame generation, and ray tracing. For $300, it's pretty easy to work into a budget. Now the fun part. We get to figure out what this thing's gonna look like. We got all types of choices, but it is a budget build, so I don't wanna go too high up. I want to keep it under $90 if possible, because the case literally does 0 for performance. Low key, $64, 2 glass panels, good airflow, 2 fans. That's a winner right there. As for an SSD, I'm not really worried about anything but capacity for now. With the higher quality SSDs, all you're getting are faster load up times and you're sacrificing a few seconds, but you do save a few bucks. Definitely make sure you get a terabyte of storage, but 7,000 read speeds are plenty for me. 7 gigabytes per second is definitely the speed you want to look for. Something like the Hyper 212 should be plenty for a Ryzen 5. It's only a 7600, so it's not heating up as much as the i9s or the Ryzen 9s, so this should be plenty. Last but definitely not least is the power supply. It's basically the thing that makes sure your PC does not explode. Along with powering it, it regulates how many watts go out to each part so it doesn't explode like I said. My PC is not taking up too much wattage, so I think 650 should be plenty. Something like this should do perfect. It's got the 80 plus bronze rating. I would hope to go for something like gold, but bronze is definitely sufficient. Keep in mind, this is a $1,000 budget PC, so we're kind of balling on a budget. This should do nicely. Got the whole build. I have no idea how much this was, but we're gonna check it out when we get home. We're back to the crib. Let's build this PC. We're gonna do a quick breakdown of the specs before we get into building. We have an RTX 4060 NVIDIA. Their software is just amazing. That's why I ended up going with NVIDIA over AMD. Ryzen 5 7600X, 6 cores, 12 threads, beast of a CPU for the price, 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, B650 Wi-Fi motherboard, and a 650 watt power supply, which should end up being that price. You ready to see the laziest PC build of your whole life? First in goes the RAM. Click that in. Next up, CPU. Drop this thing right in, line it up, and snap the pin. There we go. 1 terabyte SSD. Ow, dude. Everything's so sharp on a PC board. Dude, I love when I drop something, it just literally absolutely runs away from me. Throwing on some thermal paste. CPU cooler going on. Like I said, the Hyper 212 should be plenty to keep the 7600X cool, but I guess we'll see, won't we? This is all the tedious parts of PC building that you don't see. Plugging in all the connectors is a long job if you don't know what you're looking for. Luckily, I failed at building 500 or 600 PCs in that range, so I know a thing or two. We just got the case out of the box, and unfortunately, we did not know. We got it in white instead of black. So not only is this PC budget friendly, it's also ugly. So let me know if you want it. Who wants an ugly PC? I do. Next up is the power supply, which if you're a first-time PC builder, you definitely want to put it in before everything else. It gives you a little space to route the cables and figure out where everything goes before you put all the rest of the parts in. So we're gonna do just that. How you guys like the cable management? It's real good, right? Now that we got the power supply and case wires routed, something that an elite PC builder like me would know how to do. We can put our motherboard, CPU, RAM, and SSD in. Bang. We are locked in. Man, this is a beautiful PC. What, you don't think so? We're locked in, all the screws are in. The absolute last step we have to do is put in the graphics card. Wanna go in here slow, make sure you don't crumple the PCIe slot for the graphics card. I say that because I've done it. We're in. Here she is, in all her glory. I don't think this thing is gonna work. It's not gonna turn on. Moment of truth. Please turn on. Well, that's not good. Hey! Well, I can't say that this is the best $1,000 PC build I've done, but I can certainly say it's one of them. Stay tuned to the next video because we're gonna put this thing in a whole setup and then ship it off to one of you guys afterwards. So let me know what you guys wanna see in a setup and I'll see if I listen to you or not. Probably not. Check this skeleton dance. Look how fire that is. Yeah.